Hello and welcome back to MassEffect Insanity.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Well, they know about the stonewalling you've had from the Council.
They deserve to know what we're up against.
They're on your side. They're pissed about the resistance we're getting, especially from our side. I'll have a better handle on all of it when my head stops hurting. Another L2 flare-up.
Anything I can do?
No, Commander, it'll settle down. It's rough sometimes, but they spike higher than a lot of L3s. Besides, I fared a lot better than some after Kinetics was through.
I haven't heard anything about Kinetics in a while.
Yeah, they quietly disappeared. Broke up into a bunch of little corps after they botched the training on Jump Zero. After first contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Kinetics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
Is there some reason we couldn't learn it on our own?
They didn't know where to start. Hell, it took a couple of years to even link biotics and Ezo. Forget trying to get the kids to move stuff. They had trouble just helping them not break their own limbs. And their choice of teachers didn't help much.
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Kinetics kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
And the Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
Get your knuckles rapped a few times, Lieutenant?
Yeah, you could say that. Our instructor was a Turian by the name of Commander Vernus. A real hard-ass. He basically had a free pass to break us if it would turn out a decent biotic. Kind of spiraled from there, Commander.
You're a hell of a biotic, though. He must have done something right.
Well, I got to where I am because I took initiative. Good or bad, I own that. Pretty much despite Kinetics. Anyway, this is ancient stuff. I walked it off a long time ago. I should get back to my duties, Commander. We're here to make history, not rehash it.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Killing Seren's, what was Benezi anyway? Second in command? Advisor? Anyway, it should set him back a bit. I guess we'll be the ones to tell Dr. Tassoni. It's a hell of a thing to drop on her.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
So for this episode in particular, we want to do the Companions quest, basically Tali and the Garus, as well as the Vermire.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
You mean the Rachni, right? They were dangerous, Commander. They proved that 2,000 years ago. I think it was a mistake to let them go. But that wasn't my call to make. It was yours. You know, when we pick up that Asari scientist, we'll have to tell her we killed her mom. That's gonna suck. Just saying, Commander.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was just watching some mail from home.
Oh, before I go, we saw Caden in a news vid about the Normandy. He's cute. Later, sis.
Let's pretend this never happened.
Are you interested in the Lieutenant, Chief?
Fraternization is against regulations, ma'am. Don't ask, don't tell. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
Where did you grow up?
All over. Same as you, I expect. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
I was an only child, but I get the idea. At least one of my parents was always on duty.
Yeah, military families, eh? With schedules like that, it's a wonder we ever have kids anymore. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
If he really liked her, he wouldn't be pushy.
Yeah, of course, if he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, 'cause he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
You traveled all the way home to walk your sister to school.
It was only a dozen light years, like a day's cruise. It's not like I was going to Earth or something. My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk and there's blood everywhere.
He missed?
When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying. And she hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Where was your father during this? Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
I didn't know you liked classical literature.
Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though.
I thought you said he was dead.
You know, from heaven, wherever that is. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
Everyone has the right to believe what they want. Says so in the Alliance Charter, only with fancier words.
I'm glad you're open-minded about it. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something?
Your beliefs are your business. I'm your commanding officer, not your moral compass.
I appreciate that, Skipper. I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Commander, how are you?
Why did you want to be a C-Sec officer in the first place?
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Like what?
Probably the same as most officers. I wanted to fight injustice, wanted to help people. I guess my father had something to do with it too. He was C-Sec, one of the best. I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
He's not impressed that you're going after Seren?
My father's a C-Sec man to the bone. Do things right or don't do them at all, he says. He thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Seren. He actually talked me out of becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre.
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate, me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it.
He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability.
He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
Spoken like a true CSEC officer.
Yeah, it's a speech I've heard one too many times. But Seren's not gonna play by our rules, CSEC's rules. If you want to nail Seren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
You're a quick learner, Garus. We'll beat him at his own game. It's the only way to stop someone like him.
I'm right behind you.
Oh, hello, Shepard.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me. Especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place. The Normandy runs so smooth it feels like we're not even moving. And the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
I find it rather peaceful. Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
But it's more than just the silence. This ship feels so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds. Now that I'm out here, I kind of miss them.
Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have till it's gone.
That's true. I'm starting to wonder if that's what the pilgrimage is really about. It's given me a whole new perspective on my people and our culture. You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return. I always assumed something bad happened to them, but maybe they just wanted a different life.
You do plan to return to the migrant fleet, right?
I could never abandon my people, Shepard. I will go back eventually, but we have to stop Seren first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
I should go.
See you later.
Good timing, Commander. We got a transmission coming in from the Citadel. Top priority clearance.
I'll take it in the comm room.
Commander Shepard, we've received information that may be critical to your mission against Seren.
What kind of information?
We've received an urgent message from one of our infiltration regiments in the Traverse.
I'm listening.
We currently have several infiltration units scattered throughout the border regions of Citadel space. This particular unit was gathering intel on Seren.
What did they find?
Unfortunately, the message we received was little more than static. The infiltration team must be in a situation where they can't set up proper interstellar communications. But the message was sent on a channel reserved for mission-critical communications. Whatever they were trying to tell us, we know it was important. Considering your interest in Seren, we thought you might want to investigate this. Find out what happened to our team. The signal originated from the planet Vermire.
I'll look into it.
The Council prefers not to become involved in the specifics of Spectre activities. We only want you to be aware of all your options, including Vermire. Good luck, Commander Shepard. We will keep you advised if we learn anything else.
We'll be taking care of Vermire first, and then we'll be focusing on the Companion's Quest.
Commander, I'm reading a signal. Must be our Solarian infiltration team.
Check out those defense towers.
Drop the Mako. We'll go in hot and take them out.
I'll get you in underneath their radar, Commander. We've got a clean drop, Commander.
Stay out of range and continue evasive maneuvers until I bring those AA towers down.
I know the drill. Meet you at the camp once those towers are offline. Joke around.
Now, Vermire is a pretty good place where you can get 1 or 2 extra levels if you decide to take out all of these get. I don't, because again, the soldier's gonna carry me, but if you're finding yourself having problems with Seren or with some of the last battles, this is a good place to farm for levels. In this mission we are going to be doing, or at the very least, the road that I decided to take is that I'm going to be saving Captain Kirihi just for the Paragon points. It is absolutely irrelevant whether he lives or dies per se. And yeah, of course, I'm gonna be bullying these two because if you leave them alive, they will be shooting at you while you're on the bridge and you can die very easily. So I'm just gonna be taking the Colossus out. Why am I gonna be saving Captain Kiriki? Even though, like in Mass Effect 3, the better choice is to actually let him die. Because you will get the special task force instead of him, so you get more points. I don't necessarily think that it's enough of a point difference to justify losing the Paragon points here, but if you can do like halfway, basically half of the Paragon points, so that you can still let him die and still get some Paragon points along the way. Now here there's nothing that I remember to be too threatening, mostly a sniper and a Get Destroyer, the usual bullshit that you have to deal with every single time. There's the sniper. And Soldier of course survived that, because why wouldn't Soldier survive that? And anyway, the sniper, I'm just gonna take him out with my own sniper and then rush the Get Destroyer with the two Get Destroyers with the assault rifle. And I believe the other place also has a sniper and Get Destroyer. That's basically the only thing that's really threatening here. And back to Kiriki, you can still let him die, I believe, in the last segment if you don't redirect the guns towards or better said, if you redirect the alarms to go off in their direction. I don't necessarily think it matters, but I do want to have enough Paragon points for Seren, so I do all of the task missions here that need to be done. Now, from what I've seen, from my calculations at the very least, because I did try and calculate a little bit how many war assets I can have in Mass Effect 3, I don't lose enough by saving Kiriki here to justify not saving him. So it's, I believe he gives you 20 points and the other guy, the special task force, is 40 or 75, something along the line. You might say that's a big difference. Not really, I can just scan 2 planets and we're even, basically. So it's, if it's the difference between scanning 2 planets or 1 and nothing, I didn't consider the decision to be that important. And so I prefer to go for the Paragon points to make sure that I have enough to convince Seren, because that's the only thing that I really care about right about now. At the very least for Vermire. Now the question would be, okay, this is Vermire, Ashley or Kaidan? Kaidan, 100%. He is the better squad mate in Mass Effect 3.
Commander, Normandy's touched down at the base, but it looks like we're grounded. The Solarian captain can explain when you get here.
There go the Solarians.
So what are we supposed to do now?
Stay put until we can come up with a plan.
Are you in charge here? What's the situation?
I'm Captain Kiriki, 3rd Infiltration Regiment STG. You and your crew have just landed in the middle of a hot zone. Every AA gun within 10 miles has been alerted to your presence.
Oh, that's just great. What now?
We stay put until the Council sends the reinforcements we requested.
We are the reinforcements.
What? You're all they sent? I told the Council to send a fleet.
We couldn't understand your transmission. They sent me to investigate.
That is a repetition of our task. I lost half my men investigating this place.
So what have you found?
Seren's base of operations. He set up a research facility here, but it's crawling with Geth and very well fortified.
What's Seren researching?
He's using the facility to breed an army of Krogan.
Really? I didn't think Krogan could breed in large numbers.
Apparently, Seren has discovered a cure for the genophage.
What's so important about curing this genophage?
We introduced the genophage to the Krogan population after the uprising, to quell their numbers. Without it, the Krogan will quickly overrun the galaxy. And these Krogan follow Seren.
The Geth are bad enough, but a Krogan army. He'd be almost unstoppable.
Exactly my thoughts. We must ensure that this facility and its secrets are destroyed. If that cure leaves this planet, the Krogan will become unstoppable. We can't make the same mistake again. My men and I need to rethink our plan of attack. Can you give us some time?
Don't be long, Captain. Time is not on our side.
I'm well aware of that, Commander. In the meantime, if you need any supplies, you can talk to Commander Rentola. He's in one of the tents nearby.
Looks like things are a bit of a mess.
So, messy is our specialty. Or are you getting soft on us?
No, I just got a bad feeling about this place.
Ah, Commander. I hope you're ready for a fight. This assault isn't going to be easy.
I assume that means you've come up with a plan.
Of sorts. We can convert our ship's drive system into a 20-kiloton ordnance. Crude, but effective.
Nice. Drop that nuke from orbit, and Seren can kiss his Turian ass goodbye.
Unfortunately, the facility is too well fortified for that. We'll need to place the bomb at a precise location.
Where do we take the nuke? And how do we get there?
The bomb must be taken to the far side of the facility. Your ship can drop it off, but we'll need to infiltrate the base, disable the AA guns, and pacify any ground forces first.
You want us to go in on foot? We don't have enough men.
Good. I prefer a straight fight anyway.
It won't be that simple. We just don't have the numbers to meet them head-on. I'm going to divide my men into 3 teams and hit the front of the facility. While we've got their attention, you can sneak your shadow team in the back.
I just hope you survive long enough to be useful.
We're tougher than we look, Commander. But it's true. I don't expect many of us will make it out alive. And that makes what I'm going to ask even more difficult. I need one of your men to accompany me, to help coordinate the teams.
You expect me to commit one of my people to your command?
We are all soldiers by trade. If your people are not prepared to face such a risk, would you really want them by your side?
He's right, Commander. We can't do this without both teams at their best. I volunteer.
Not so fast, LT. Commander Shepard will need you to arm the nuke. I'll go with the Solarians.
With all due respect, Gunnery Chief, it's not your place to decide.
Why is it that whenever someone says, with all due respect, they really mean kiss my ass?
Williams, you'll accompany the captain. No heroics, understood?
Aye, aye, Commander.
I will have the ordnance loaded onto the Normandy and brief your crew on its detonation sequencing. Do you have any questions before we go, Commander?
Let's do this.
Excellent. Then if you'll excuse me, I need to prepare my men.
Well, this is it. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone, LT. You too, Commander.
We'll be fine. You'll see.
Yeah, good luck.
Is there something you want to say, Chief?
I don't know, it's just weird, going under someone else's command. I've got used to working with you. All of you.
Don't worry. We'll see you on the other side.
I know. It's been an honor serving with you, Commander.
It doesn't matter if we're not in the same unit. We are still a team. Watch each other's backs, keep your eyes open, and fight like I know you can. We'll all come out of this in one piece.
You bet, Commander.
You all know the mission and what is at stake. I have come to trust each of you with my life, but I have also heard murmurs of discontent. I share your concerns. We are trained for espionage. We would be legends, but the records are sealed. Glorying in battle is not our way. Think of our heroes. The Silent Steppe, who defeated a nation with a single shot. Or the Ever Alert, who kept armies at bay with hidden facts. These giants do not seem to give us solace here, but they are not all that we are. Before the network, there was the fleet. Before diplomacy, there were soldiers. Our influence stopped the Rachni, but before that, we held the line. Our influence stopped the Krogan, but before that, we held the line. Our influence will stop Seren. In the battle today, we will hold the line. Good luck, Commander. I hope we will meet again. Comm check. Do you read me, Commander?
Loud and clear.
Good. We'll start our push. We'll try to make it to the AA guns, but it might be up to you to finish the job. And Commander, if you see any way to undermine their defenses, we could definitely use the help. Shadow is on the ground. Repeat, Shadow is on the ground. Chief Williams, with the Igor team. Manovai, Jayeto teams, move! Time to get some attention.
Alright, going back to the Ashley versus Caden debate, I don't think Ashley brings enough to the team that James doesn't already do. So unfortunately for her, she is quite literally a redundant part of the team, whereas Caden actually has very good crowd control. In Mass Effect 3, Carnage is essentially kind of sort of the best offensive ability, but the best defensive ability, in my personal opinion, is the freeze, because freeze can keep the enemies from... yeah, immunity saved me there. Freeze can keep the enemies locked down a lot from what I've seen in Mass Effect 3, so I personally prefer and value Caden more over Ashley in terms of squad mates. So I'm just going to be picking Caden for this very reason, and this is also the very reason why I never used Ashley in this playthrough. I didn't want to start relying on her and then have her not be part of the team after the after Vermire. She would have been gone, so essentially I would have had to learn to fight with a teammate that doesn't have her survivability, because if you don't have Rex, obviously Ash is the better teammate because she survives, and surviving is good in this game because it means the squad mates take damage. Usually most of the Krogan, let's say, if you have Rex or Ashley, will actually go for them instead of you. That's what I've noticed in my previous playthroughs where I actually did use them. And that's why I would personally say, if you are struggling, like, I would say that Caden is not as necessary for Mass Effect 3, because you can also get freeze on Commander Shepard, or get the freeze ammo, though freeze ammo I haven't seen it be that good compared to the actual freeze. I actually prefer actual freeze in Mass Effect 3 at the very least. So if you do find yourself struggling, you can take Ashley instead of Garus. I do feel like Garus is by far the weakest squad mate out of Caden and Liara. He's not as necessary, but he does bring some benefits, because between him and Tali, you will almost always have access to all of the hacking abilities, so you can always hack anything that's in your way, and that will give you extra goodies. So it's like, are you willing to have Garus on your team even though he's not necessarily the tankiest, dies a lot, and doesn't actually provide much that Tali isn't already giving you, like doesn't give you anything extra? Or would you rather have a survivor, a team that lives? If you want a team that lives, you bring Ashley and Rex, though that's basically the best team that lives. The problem with that team is that they don't do much else, so I would honestly pick one of the two and Tali. Tali to me is the best squad mate in Mass Effect. There's no comparison in my personal opinion. She does a lot passively and offensively for the team, whereas Ashley and Rex mostly live, and Rex at the very least has biotics. Is better than Ashley in my opinion.
We've got access to base security. We should be able to cut the alarms from here. Might even be able to trigger alarms on the far side of the base. It'll clear out the guards for us, but they might be too much for the Salarian teams to handle.
Just disable the alarms. We can handle any guards inside.
But if you are doing a playthrough like I am, where I am not allowing myself to bring Rex or Ashley, because I do want to make Mass Effect 3 easier for me, and I do feel like Mass Effect 1 is the easier game out of all three of them. Well, I mean, you can make an argument for Mass Effect 2, but we will get to Mass Effect 2. I still think that Mass Effect 1 is technically speaking the easiest game on Insanity, so I wanted to leave the hard parts for here so that I would have an easier time in 2 and 3.
Well, you're not a Geth, and you're not wearing a lab coat. I guess I'm glad to see you. Lieutenant Gonto Imnes of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment, captured during recon. I assume the fleet was called in to destroy the base?
The transmission wasn't clear. The fleet's not coming.
I see. Then you must be the infiltration team. I know the captain. He will want this facility destroyed. My team was altered, indoctrinated. He knew about the breeding grounds. But the indoctrination is a greater threat, and far more horrifying. I watched good people reduced to mindless husks. There wasn't anything left. Others died during the experiments. I envy them.
I'm opening your cell, but then you're on your own.
Don't look back and hope to outrun the blast, A better chance than I had before you showed up. Thank you, human. And good luck. You'll need it.
Alright, so I did rescue that soldier. Again, everything that I did up to this point was for the Paragon points. And I'm also going to be letting the scientists to walk coming up because of the Paragon points. And I really legitimately hate this area because you see the husks, but you're not allowed to shoot them unless they're outside of that stupid field. And yeah, the Krogan, what can I say? He charged me. Thank goodness immunity is a thing. Like, if you see somebody charge you, put immunity on. That's the best thing that you can do, basically. The easiest thing that you can do also. And yeah, what can I say? This puzzle is amazing. I mean, look at it. Pretty impressive stuff, actually. Not really. After realizing that Garus was gonna be down forever, I decided, yeah, I should revive him. Actually, kind of funny. But at this point in time, I'm pretty much in the clear. I feel like I even got some. Yeah, I do get quite a lot of good ammo. With a lot of poison and a lot of other stuff. So there you go, everything is starting to get poisoned, which I absolutely love. It takes them down easier. I don't.
Don't shoot! Please, I just want to get out of here before it's too late.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Who are you?
Rana Thanoptis, neurospecialist. But this job isn't worth dying over, or worse. You think the indoctrination only affects prisoners? Sooner or later, Seren will want to dissect my brain too.
Give me one reason I should help you.
I can help you. This elevator behind me goes to Seren's private lab. I can get you in. See? Full access. All of Seren's private files. Are we good? Can I go?
I'm gonna blow this place to hell and gone. If you want to make it out alive, you better start running.
What? You can't. But I'll never. Ah!
You enjoyed that, Commander. This is not good.
You are not Seren.
What is that? Some kind of VI interface?
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding.
I don't think this is a VI.
There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign.
Sovereign isn't just some Reaper ship Seren found. It's an actual Reaper.
Reaper, a label created by the Protheans to give voice to their destruction. In the end, what they chose to call us is irrelevant. We simply are.
The Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago. You couldn't have been there. It's impossible.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
Whatever your plan is, it's gonna fail. I'll make sure of that.
Confidence born of ignorance. The cycle cannot be broken.
Cycle? What cycle?
The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished. The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them for someone else to find?
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it.
They're harvesting us, letting us advance to the level they need, then wiping us out.
You're not even alive. Not really. You're just a machine, and machines can be broken.
Your words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
Commander, we got trouble.
Hit me, Joker.
That ship's Sovereign? It's moving. I don't know what you did down there, but that thing just pulled a turn that would shear any of our ships in half. It's coming your way and it's coming hard. You need to wrap things up in there fast.
This console's been disabled. Orders, Commander.
Let's head to the breeding facility. Joker can pick us up after we set the nuke.
Alright, so after that craziness, it's time for the final battle. And I should say, I personally prefer to have the person who's gonna live be assigned to the bomb on Vermire, because it makes it easier for me, because I'm already at the bomb site. I don't have to rush to the other direction and go for them. It just feels like the easier choice. I don't necessarily know if it is, but it just feels like the easier and more natural choice to have them assigned to the bomb. So if it's Ashley that lives, she's assigned to my team. If it's Caden, he's assigned to my team. So that's the way I usually do the split up. But that's just a game style preference. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I've actually never fought Seren in the other place, so just because I am so focused on doing I'm playing the way that I like, or the way that I would consider it to be natural. Let's say there's a couple of snipers here, so you should be careful of them, because they can snipe you. These guys, they can actually snipe you and one-shot you from a distance, which I've gotten sniped by them before. It's actually very annoying. And there's about, I believe, 2 or 3 of these flying things that you can shoot them by standing in front of this building, right, and being covered by that building. And not much else that's interesting over here. The Geth and the elevator usually aren't too much of a threat to try and take me out, because they usually never leave the elevator, so if I'm a little bit off the elevator, they usually can't hit me. And now it's actually time for the big fight with the Geth.
Charges set. Everyone bunker down. Bunker down.
All right! Nice work. That's one less thing to worry about. Commander, I'm bringing us in. I'll get as close to the site as I can.
Bomb is in position. We're all set here.
Commander, can you read me?
The nuke is almost ready. Get to the rendezvous point, Williams.
Negative, Commander. The Geth have us pinned down on the AA tower. We've taken heavy casualties. We'll never make the rendezvous point in time.
Get them out of there, Joker, now!
Negative! It's too hot! Can't risk it! We'll hold them off as long as we...
It's okay, Commander. I need a couple of minutes to finish arming the bomb. Go get them and meet me back here.
Up to the AA tower. Move!
Alright, we are finally here. All of my squad mates except for the two that I've been using all game are off the table, which is very funny. Yeah, finally got some good medicine. Rank 5 is pretty good in my opinion. And now we are gonna be heading up to the elevator. For no reason, because we will be right back down again. These Krogan, I do find them to be somewhat annoying, but if they go for your squad mate, you're pretty much fine. And if not, just pop immunity and then snipe them from a distance. That's usually my tactics. And here we go. We are about to turn back for Caden, because of course we are. Even though we didn't romance anybody, I felt like that was an extra cutscene and I wanted to skip it. That's the reason.
Reinforcements. We better hurry.
Heads up, LT. We just spotted a troop ship headed to your location.
It's already here. There's Geth pouring out all over the bomb site.
Can you hold them off?
There's too many. I don't think we can survive until you get here. I'm activating the bomb.
What the hell are you doing, Alenko?
I'm just making sure this bomb goes off, no matter what. It's done, Commander. Go get Williams and get the hell out of here.
Screw that! We can handle ourselves. Go back and get Alenko.
Alenko, radio Joker and tell him to meet us at the bomb site.
Yes, Commander.
You know it's the right choice, LT.
I'm sorry, Ash. I had to make a choice.
I understand, Commander. I don't regret a thing.
Alright, so we are saying goodbye to Ashley and we are just rushing back through the elevator, and I don't believe there's anything waiting for us here. They're just at the bomb site. A couple will get here. Do we shoot before Seren shows up? Yeah, I almost got crushed by a cat destroyer there. What can I say? Very funny. Oh no, it's a Get Prime. Yes, of course. Forgot about those and lol, that guy got stuck. Love it. Just love the use of corners. Always try and use corners to get them stuck. It's always so funny to see them get stuck.
Commander, set that nuke and get out! We can't hold them! Damn it! Suppressing fire! Cover your flank! Cover your...
I applaud you, Shepard. My Geth were utterly convinced the Solarians were the real threat. An impressive diversion. Of course, it was all for nothing. I can't let you disrupt what I've accomplished here. You can't possibly understand what's really at stake.
Why are you doing this?
You've seen the vision from the beacons, Shepard. You of all people should understand what the Reapers are capable of. They cannot be stopped. Do not mire yourself in pointless revolt. Do not sacrifice everything for the sake of petty freedoms. The Protheans tried to fight, and they were utterly destroyed. Trillions dead. But what if they had bowed before the invaders? Would the Protheans still exist? Is submission not preferable to extinction?
Do you really believe the Reapers will let us live?
Now you see why I never came forward with this to the Council. We organics are driven by emotion instead of logic. We will fight even when we know we cannot win. But if we work with the Reapers, if we make ourselves useful, think how many lives could be spared. Once I understood this, I joined Sovereign. Though I was aware of the dangers, I had hoped this facility could protect me.
You're afraid Sovereign is influencing you. You're afraid he's controlling your thoughts.
I've studied the effects of indoctrination. The more control Sovereign exerts, the less capable the subject becomes. That is my saving grace. Sovereign needs me to find the conduit. My mind is still my own, for now. But the transformation from ally to servant can be subtle. I will not let it happen to me.
Why are the Geth following Sovereign?
They believe Sovereign to be some kind of god, the pinnacle of their own evolution. But the reaction of their deity is most telling. It is insulted. Sovereign does not desire the pitiful devotions the Geth hurl at it. They are just tools, and no amount of belief on their part will change that. But as tools, they are useful. They will survive the coming invasion. If organic life is to survive, we must also prove we are useful. We must work with the Reapers.
Tell me why Sovereign needs the conduit. Tell me what it is. Maybe we can find a way to stop them.
The conduit is the key to your destruction and my salvation. Sovereign needs my help to find it. That is the only reason I have not been indoctrinated.
Sovereign's manipulating you and you don't even know it. You're already under its power.
No, Sovereign needs me. If I find the conduit, I've been promised a reprieve from the inevitable. This is my only hope.
Together we can stop Sovereign. We don't have to submit to the Reapers, we can beat them.
I no longer believe that, Shepard. The visions cannot be denied. The Reapers are too powerful. The only hope of survival is to join with them. Sovereign is a machine. It thinks like a machine. If I can prove my value, I become a resource worth maintaining. There is no other logical conclusion.
You were a Spectre. You were sworn to defend the galaxy. Then you broke that vow to save yourself.
I'm not doing this for myself. Don't you see? Sovereign will succeed. It is inevitable. My way is the only way any of us will survive. I'm forging an alliance between us and the Reapers, between organics and machines. And in doing so, I will save more lives than have ever existed. But you would undo my work. You would doom our entire civilization to complete annihilation. And for that, you must die.
right, everybody, hang on!
I can't believe that Ash didn't make it. How could we just leave her down there?
Williams knew the risks going in. She gave her life to save the rest of us.
But why me? Why not her?
It wasn't your call, Alenko. I had to choose. I chose you.
But if I'd done my job, you wouldn't have had to make that call.
It wasn't your fault. It wasn't my fault. The only one to blame here is Seren.
Yes, ma'am. We'll get it done.
But how are we gonna find him, or the conduit?
What about that beacon, the one in the base? Did it give you another vision? Did it show you where the conduit is?
Something's different, but I still can't figure it out, and we're down to our last lead. Time to head for the Artemis Tau cluster. Crew, dismissed.
Commander, there's a comm buoy nearby. I can link us in if you want to report back to the Citadel Council. You know, to warn them about Sovereign.
Set the link up, Joker. They need to know.
Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, I'm pleased to see your mission on Vermire was a success.
Seren is formidable enough without an army of Krogan serving under him.
The Krogan would have served Sovereign, a Reaper.
Yes, we saw mention of this on your report. Sovereign, Ascension machine, a true artificial intelligence. This news is quite alarming, if it turns out to be accurate.
Sovereign's a Reaper. Seren admitted it.
He's playing you, Shepard. Seren still has contacts on the Citadel. He probably saw your earlier reports, the ones talking about your vision and the Reapers.
It's highly possible Seren is using false information to throw you off balance. Our own intelligence has never turned up any corroborating information.
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to take something I say on faith, Counselor.
Try to see this from our perspective, Commander. Seren is a threat we can recognize. However, as far as we know, the Reapers only exist in your visions.
Our decisions affect trillions of lives. We cannot act on the accusations of a single person, even a Spectre. Not without solid evidence.
The Council cannot take any official action here. That is why we created the Spectres. You have the authority to act as you see fit.
If you truly believe Sovereign is the real threat, you must take whatever steps are necessary to stop it. And Seren.
Good luck, Commander. From all of us.
So we are off of Vermire, and now we are about to go and talk to Tali and Garus, because they are about to give us their missions, and we're about to get rid of those.
Anything you need, Commander?
I wanted to see how you're dealing with Ash's death.
Dealing, ma'am. Sorry for anything I said back there. Adrenaline.
I understand. I don't like losing people either.
I've served for years, but never lost a soldier under my command. Not to hostile action, anyway. If you don't mind my asking, how did you deal with the losses on Elysium?
I didn't stop and agonize over it while everyone else was in danger. We've got work to do, Alenko. We'll remember her later.
You're right. I can't let this get to me. Not now, anyway. Thanks for the advice, ma'am.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I didn't figure you'd have time to talk with all that's going on. After-action debriefs. What we found out about Sovereign.
The paperwork will keep. Something on your mind?
I'm just looking for an ear. The debriefing wasn't the right place to say how ridiculous this is. Seems like every other race in the galaxy is wrapped up in their own problems. They don't want to see what's coming.
Wanting to believe everything will be fine? Sounds like human nature to me.
Yeah, I guess some things carry across species well enough. I should remember that after what happened with Vernus.
I think you'd carry a grudge over the crap you took from Vernus.
Before I met Vernus, I knew as much as any other civilian. Aliens were weird, superior, and tried to tell us what to do. I mean, it's only been 26 years since first contact. That's not a lot of time to understand them. But it was Vernus who made me see how human aliens are. They're not different or special. They're jerks and saints, just like us. Hell, by the time I got payback, I didn't even want it anymore.
Blowhards are easy to brush off. How'd he finally get under your skin?
He hurt Rana. Broke her arm. She reached for a glass of water instead of pulling it biotically. She just wanted a drink without getting a nosebleed, you know? Like an idiot, I stood up. Didn't know what I was gonna do, just something. And Vernus lost it. Beat the crap out of me. Kept shouting how they should have bombed us back to the Stone Age. And that's when the knife came up. A military-issue talon, right in my face. I cut loose. Full biotic kick right in the teeth. Almost as strong as I can manage now. But at 17, that's something.
You wanted to help a girl you cared for. That's a noble thing.
Maybe my intentions were noble, but I lost control. I killed him, Shepard. Snapped his neck. They probably could have saved him if they got him to an infirmary quick enough. But they didn't. Caused a stir when they shipped him home. Bot training was shut down. Canadics folded a couple of years later. So, yeah, maybe I hated that Turian. I mean, if one ass was enough to judge a whole race, I'd hate humans too.
I want to know you're on our side, whatever needs to be done.
Commander, I thought real hard about how to use my talents. When I swore the oath to defend the Alliance, it wasn't on a whim. If it comes down to it, I am a soldier. I have to believe that my superiors can tell our enemies from people who disagree with us. If the Alliance is missing its chance, it's because of men like Udina, not the rest of the galaxy holding us back. Of course, your opinion is the one that matters, Commander.
Lieutenant, I believe we need to get you a posting in recruitment.
Sorry. I have some strong feelings on the subject. I should return to my duties now. Commander?
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
It was an honor working with you, Commander Shepard. Despite the losses, our mission was a success. My superiors will duly honor Chief Williams for her actions. Her sacrifice has earned humanity a great deal of respect from my people.
Ash was a hell of a soldier. She knew what the risks were, but she did what she had to.
Of course. The grim reality that every soldier must accept. Rest assured, Commander, my men and I will not forget what you have accomplished here. We will leave your ship as soon as you reach your next destination.
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with C-Sec a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
I bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
What happened? Why were you investigating him?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one Elcor diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs, had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Salion, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
What'd you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation, to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Good thinking. Lackeys are always easier to scare.
Exactly. Though in this case it paid off in a different way. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Salion's employees. They were test tubes, Walking, living test tubes.
So he was growing spare parts in his own employees.
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies, then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs, but they wouldn't listen.
No wonder you hated it there. Those idiots just let him fly away.
Yes, they did. I went to Palin and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
A few casualties is a small price to pay to stop someone like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those hostages might be wishing they'd died by now anyway. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salian?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Salion, I want to be there when you find him.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Seren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
We've still got a long way to go. You'll find something to take back.
Yes, but it cannot just be some derelict ship my people can use for salvage. It has to be more than that. There's a lot expected of me.
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
That must be tough on you.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry. There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage, something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian's ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Seren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Seren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Seren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
I should go.
See you later.
The Garus' mission is actually the easiest to do. It's in the Kepler cluster. There's a couple of blue. There are a couple of what are these things called? I usually forget what they're called. Oh yeah, these guys are called test subjects things. And they actually don't have shields, so I forgot about the fact that they don't have shields, so I could have just sniped them, sat in a place and sniped them and kept them rolling over, but I forgot, and at this point in time I don't care. I'm tanky enough. You can also just ring around the Rosie in this place because it's very big and shoot them. So that's the strategy that I went for. Now I'm gonna go after the dock.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me from those things.
Commander, that's him. That's Dr. Saleon.
What? My name is Hart. Dr. Hart. Please, get me out of here.
Are you sure it's him?
Positive. There's no escape this time, Doctor. I'd harvest your organs first, but we don't have the time.
You're crazy. He's crazy! Please, don't let him do this to me.
Put him out of his misery so we can get going.
Gladly. Your days of butchering are over, Doctor.
No! Please! Please!
That was satisfying.
Good. Remember that feeling. That's how it should be.
I will, Commander. Well, I guess we're done here.
Message coming in from the brass at Arcturus. Patching it through.
Normandy? Admiral Hackett here. We're getting reports of a marked increase in Geth activity in the Skyllian Verge. Surveillance drones have identified Geth outposts on 4 different planets in the Armstrong cluster. We need someone to take them out.
I'm on it, Admiral.
Finding Saren is still your top priority, but you've got experience fighting the Geth. You're the logical choice to take out these outposts. We're transmitting all the locations of known Geth outposts in the Armstrong cluster to the Normandy now. Admiral Hackett out.
And now we're doing Tali's Quest, and you might have been thinking, wait, you've been doing a Paragon playthrough. Why are you choosing the Renegade options for Garus? I just like it better, okay? I've never understood the idea of making Garus a Paragon or to be like Shepard. And besides, I actually don't get Paragon points for I believe I only get like a couple of Paragon points, 2 Paragon points for that dock option, which I don't think it's necessary at this point. And I do actually prefer to not play completely Paragon or completely Renegade. Like, I don't think I've ever had a pure Paragon or pure Renegade option unless I was mindlessly scrolling through the text and not even listening to the conversation. But whenever I actually do listen to what's going on, I never just pick only the Paragon or only the Renegade option. I feel like that's just boring. So that's just my play style. And we need to for Tali's mission, we actually do need to take out about 5 bases. And this guy, I mean, in case you've never seen this tactic before, you can just absolutely curve stomp these guys. Well, you saw it on Vermire where we just don't allow these guys to attack at all, and it's very funny because they constantly try to sit up and we're constantly putting them back down and then taking them out for free.
Free to go.
It's actually hilarious. And then we move on because we need to do all of the planets in this system, and I'm not going to be showing all of the planets because it takes a while for me to find them. Essentially, it's within this cluster. There's 4 solar systems that you have to go through, and the planets that you can land on, those are the planets that you can take out the Geth stuff, because it's only 1 planet per system where you can land on, and you have to land on every one of the planets, take out the Geth occupy territory and then move on to the next. Like do that for every single planet in the system, and then the 5th solar system will be unlocked that is not available to you at the start. And once that one is unlocked, then you can go there as well and take out the get system there. And by the way, you should never actually stay out in the open with these small little guys. They can actually tear through your shields very fast. In fact, I did get killed. I don't know if it's here or someplace else, but I do actually, like, look at that. I almost died there. I didn't die to the big one, but to the small ones I can actually die, and I did die, I believe, once to these guys. Because I got stuck on the shields and I couldn't get out of there fast enough. So yeah, the best option for these guys is to stay at a distance, because otherwise they will snipe you down pretty fast, especially if your shields go down. And I was being reckless because look at that, I'm almost at the halfway point, so I almost died there as well. This planet, I believe, has a pressure mob. I believe it's called that. I don't remember exactly if it's called that or not, but you can actually go and fight it if you want. But I personally don't. I don't need the EXP. So I don't bother with it, and I believe I did die here once. Because I'm saving. I usually save only when it's the second time, and I died because I was being a dumbass and didn't realize that I had my shields taken down. Like right now, I had my shields taken down and was about to get owned right there. The big guy is only a problem when the little guys are alive, and the little guys are actually the big problem. So I'm trying to my best to take out the little guys so that I can then go and bully the big guy, like I usually do, by sitting his ass down and then taking him out at my leisure. It's very funny fighting these guys. They're actually the easiest get to fight when you're in the Mako. And after this, basically the only thing that's left is I lost. No, it's Liara. I'm sorry, I keep on forgetting that we actually haven't gotten Liara yet. But yeah, pretty much Liara, Ilos, and the Citadel will be done in next episode. So yeah, we are almost done. It's just gonna be one more episode after this one, and that will be Insanity. And I've already started on Mass Effect 2, but I've been like struggling to consider which companions to get killed and which not. It's it's actually a little funny because they are not that relevant. Some of them are really irrelevant, some of them are really necessary just for Mass Effect 2. I've been struggling with that as well, because I'm probably not gonna go for a full companion live, even though technically speaking Mass Effect 2 I would say is very easy to do full by making sure that every companion lives, but it's just boring and tedious in my personal opinion, because there's just too much more story. Like in terms of gameplay, I feel like Mass Effect 1 is, I don't know, I believe this was 7 hours, something like that. Yeah, you'd be lucky if you're past part 1 in 7 hours in Mass Effect 2. So like I usually split Mass Effect 2 in terms of the missions for the Elusive Man, because they come at regular intervals, you know, like before the Reaper IFF and stuff like that. So part 1 I believe does take me 7 hours, something like that, and then we have part 2, which can also take about 7 hours if you're doing all of the loyalty missions and stuff like that, and then you have part 3, which is the last part of the game, and that is actually shorter, or at the very least that's what usually happens, and that's what usually happens in my playthroughs for what I've seen. But Mass Effect 1, which is why I say Mass Effect 1 is the easiest of the games, because you just have less to get through and less story and less complications, I would say. but you can make Mass Effect 2 be a little bit easier, but quite frankly, like part 1 is so rigid, you might as well not have any choice whatsoever, in my opinion, at the very least. And Mass Effect 3 is a monster. Like, it is still a monster, and that's the reason why I'm trying so hard in Mass Effect 2 and 1 to make Mass Effect 3 the easiest that it could possibly be, so that I don't have to do too much. And by the way of this shouldn't, I don't know, I'm fairly sure nobody plays Insanity on their first playthrough. Like, if you shouldn't be playing Insanity on your first playthrough, I guess. And if you are, you should definitely get Rex. He is, in my personal opinion, the best companion of Mass Effect 1. Like, I know people love Garus and Tali. I don't care. Rex is just the best. I love Garus and Tali too, but in my personal opinion, there's no comparison to Rex. He is the funniest. And the Citadel Rex is absolutely, like, golden. And I believe this is the last fight until they're gonna start saying, where's the signal coming from, and we get the last cluster.
Strange. I expect one of these outposts to be the main base of operations for this incursion.
Hold on. This receiver's picking up some kind of transmission. Based on the signal strength, I'd say it's coming from inside the star cluster.
It must be a message from the primary Geth base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and take them out.
Alright, and here it is. There we go, the last system that just appeared, and we are going after the last station. Tali's quest is by far the longest. If we would have had Rex, we could have gotten his quest super early. You can do Rex immediately, because Rex is not limited like Garus. Garus and Tali have dialogue check options. For Garus, you have to talk about the doctor in order to get the spaceship to actually appear in the system, and the spaceship will not appear in the system if it's if you didn't talk. Like, you can go to the Kepler system and you will see that the spaceship is not there until Garus talks about it. And the same thing with Tali. You can go to this cluster, but the the last system will not appear until Tali talks about wanting to get something for her pilgrimage. So if you want to do these quests, you should do their conversations very fast. Like, as soon as you get off the Citadel, which is a mistake that I personally made. I didn't talk to them after the Citadel, and once I got off the Citadel, because I could have done these quests earlier, but I couldn't, like, I forgot. I genuinely just forgot to talk to them once I got off the Citadel, and that meant that I had to do their quests now after Vermire, because otherwise I would have done these quests before Vermire and then just rushed to Liara and Ilos in this second half. But it's fine, it's whatever, you still have the chance to do their quest, and everything will work out. Here I'm sitting by the door because there's too many snipers and this dude over there and I don't want to get ganked immediately. That's pretty much the quest, and that will be pretty much the episode. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.